What motivates people to advance the cause of moral relativism?
It's much easier to be evil, to be lazy. It's much easier to be lustful and allow lust to prevail than to refrain it. It's much easier to cheat and lie than to be morally right and honest, and to be disciplined and to meet your commitments. It's much easier not to do those things. It's much easier to relax.
To listen to your conscience, for example.
Exactly. It's much easier not to listen to your conscience, to convince yourself that all of that is hogwash in order to be free for freedom's sake. Freedom without responsibility.
Licentiousness, in a sense.
Exactly. Freedom comes with responsibility, because the question is freedom for what? I want freedom for what? In the ancient understandings from the Greeks and the Romans and from the Christian gospel and from the holy text of all religions, freedom was to create. I need to be free in order to create. It's not to be free in order to destroy myself and everything around me in the name of a very strange concept of individualism. The individual is supreme. In this new concept of moral relativism, the individual is supreme above the purpose of the whole, above the purpose of the family, the wife, the community, everything. I am the supreme.
At odds with those things, you're saying.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So it does not build. It deconstructs and destroys.
Another strength of America is the free market. We put a high value on free market economy, for example. Does moral relativism affect the free market? And if so, how? And what about vice versa? Does the free market affect moral relativism?
That's a very interesting question, because now we enter into the external part, the market forces. When you erode the base in which you stand with moral rectitude, what gives you the ability to be honest, the ability to withstand the winds of fortune with moral fortitude. When you give up all those values, the market that has its own dynamics, who deals with a different kind of value, which is the value of material, money, then what happens is that the lower part of human nature, the dark side of human nature, plus the market, rules, profit, what sells. So vice is sold at a high price, because it's much easier to be vicious, to be of a vice, to be
sinful,
to be sinful, to be immoral.
Uh-huh.
It's much easier to be addicted to sex, to drugs, to alcohol, to tobacco, to all kinds of things. It's much easier to be like that, especially if the market forces are mobilized to sell that. When I said, for example, when you see the way advertisement sells the dark side in underwear, for example, the sexualization of advertisement, the alley, you no longer fear the alley, the dark alley with all the things that are going on in the alley.
It becomes another option. It's just as valid as any other option.
And the market has an incredible ability to seduce, to tell you what you need, to tell you what will give you happiness, fulfillment, pleasure. It's all mirages. It's all artificial. It's all material.
It becomes the status quo in a sense.
Exactly. So moral relativism plus the market is dangerous, because you have vulnerable people
hanging in the balance.
Exactly, who become convinced, that it's only the material that will give them the happiness. Mm-hmm. And this material is connected with the senses, with the dark side. So this is a formula for disaster for people, especially for people who are weak, people who have weakness.
Okay. Now, you talked about this dark side. Do you think that we're created with this kind of innate contradiction within ourselves between good and evil, and a propensity for vice, and a predisposition to give in to evil?
I personally don't believe so. And if you ask most religious people, regardless of what religion they belong to, they will tell you that no, that man was not meant to be like that, that is the result of a separation from the Creator, from the values that the Creator had for humans in the beginning, what we call the fall of man. The fall of man separated man from, not only from God, from the ideal. So man in a fallen state is weak and has the propensity for vice. And people have profited from vice and weakness throughout history. And today they have perfected the art of profit from vice and human weakness. And moral relativism is the philosophy behind, to justify evil intellectually, politically, spiritually, psychologically, etc., etc.